Good evening. In episode 4, we sat by humanity's first hearth, Prometheus's warm gift, and learned how responsibility is the handrail that keeps fire kind. Tonight, we follow a softer rhythm, the story of Demeter and Persephone, a tale of patience, absence, and reunion that explains Shemamanes why. Seasons take turns, like polite guests at a shared table. Demeter, keeper of grain and green, walked a world that breathed evenly. Wheat bowed like a congregation at prayer. Orchards hummed with small industry, and every furrow knew its line. She was mother not only to fields, but to comfort itself, one who teaches hands to wash, bread to rise, and hearts to wait. Her home smelled of straw and warm stew. Her voice was the calm behind a good harvest. Persephone, her daughter, liked the hour just after sunrise. Seedlings rinse their leaves, birds count the day's first measures. She gathered small wildflowers and listened to bees learning the tune of clover. She carried gentle curiosity, questions without hurry, laughter without sharp edges. In her presence, paths felt swept and ditches, often overlooked, held clear water. One noon, mother and daughter came to a meadow ringed by birches. The air had a cool note like shade in a clay jar. Demeter set down a basket of bread. Persephone knelt to admire a sprig of mint and a pale anemone. In a world that breathes well, Demeter said, each thing keeps its lane. Sun, rain, soil, seed. Persephone nodded, tucking a flower behind her ear, not knowing how soon balance would need a wiser shape. Stories say the ground opened and a dark chariot rose. We will tell it kindly. The earth made a doorway where there had only been grass, and Persephone, curious but unafraid, felt the pull of another room in the world's great house. Some call that room the Underworld. Tonight we call it Down Home, a place for memory, for keeping records, for letting roots rest. Its keeper, Hades, was not thunder or fire, but order made quiet. Hades can be told like a shout. We will tell him like a bow. He keeps ledgers the way a librarian keeps spines straight. He does not chase the living. He arranges the gone. When Persephone crossed the threshold, he did not roar. He offered the chair nearest the lamp, moved a bowl of pomegranates close, not to trap, but to welcome with ceremony. He is a host who prefers complete sentences and tea that does not boil over. The silence below is not fear, it is archival. Persephone touched shelves of memories, worn sandals, faded ribbons, the last notes of a song. Up there, she said, things grow. Down here, things keep. Hades inclined his head. Both are needed. Roots belong to the same tree as leaves. She walked the halls and found they were not prisons, but pantries for time, where people leave what should be remembered. Demeter, turning from the meadow, found a space shaped like her daughter's absence. She called once, twice, then set off. Fields paused to listen. A soft draft emptied barns of color. Birds changed a verse, as if missing a note they could not name. Demeter crossed valleys, asked river bends, questioned paths. Her voice, usually a warm stove, was now the ember under ash, steady, waiting for air. With every step, she delayed the dance of growth. Not out of anger, but from suspension. The the way a mother pauses a story until the child returns to the pillow. Wheat stopped its bowing mid-gesture. Vines rested with hands folded. Even the sea practiced shallower breathing. The world did not starve. It waited. Waiting, Demeter believed, is a kind of prayer with no words. Zeus, hearing the pause in the drum of days, sent Hermes, the one who can walk staircases between rooms. Hermes went down the new doorway with a traveler's courtesy, a little cough before turning a corner, a "may I?" At the arch, he found Persephone well, her hair neat, her questions answered, and Hades in good order. A ledger open, a teapot warm. Hermes spoke first of balance. Day and night share the sky. Tide and shore share the line. Might the seasons also share? He asked. Hades did not argue. The world above needs Persephone's steps, he said. We would be honored to host her when the year is tired. Persephone looked from one to the other and said something only daughters say well. Let us keep each other's house, mother's and mine and yours, without jealousy. About the pomegranate, some tell it is a trap. We will call it hospitality protocol. In Down Home, accepting a fruit means accepting a visit. Persephone had already tasted a few bright seeds, curiosity, courtesy, a wish not to offend. Hermes understood the custom and smiled. Then the calendar just wrote itself, he said. She will spend part of the year below as a respected guest and part above as Demeter's daughter and spring's best apprentice. When Persephone returned, Demeter's embrace felt like sunrise reclaiming windows. Snow that had learned to wait now learned to let go. Streams stepped out of their shoes and ran. Demeter did not ask 1,000 questions. She stroked her daughter's hair and set a loaf to rise. Together, they walked rows and called seeds by name. Fields remembered their lines. Birds picked up their missing note. So the world signed a kind contract. Spring belongs to returning. Persephone's laughter opens gates. Green rehearses its lines. Summer belongs to ripening. Demeter, apron on, checks grain by touch and one by smell. Autumn belongs to tucking in. Thanks are said aloud. Baskets close, jars line shelves. Winter belongs to keeping. Persephone visits Down Home to sit with memories and mend nets of time. No thunderclap sealed it, only nods, lamps lit, and doors softly shut. Persephone did not return with jewels. She returned with skill. She knew how to label boxes without haste, how to read old handwriting, how to befriend silence. She taught children to fold away their days. Joys here, sorrows there, space in between. Things do not vanish, she said. They move to shelves where we can reach them later without falling in. Demeter learned to share time. Love that cannot share but becomes a closed room. Love that can share turns into a porch with chairs for both morning and evening. She also learned the tenderness of preparation. Extra wood stacked when frost whispers, flax combed before rain, dough mixed while the story warms. Preparation is love's quiet grammar. In his careful halls, Hades learned the value of windows. He added a few, small ones, so a thin light could draw straight lines on the floor. He refined his etiquette of welcome, clear rules, warm tea, clocks that do not tick too loudly. He came to see that the best guardianship is not possession, but custody, keeping safe what others will one day need again. When we tend our small lives, Demeter and Persephone lend a practical prayer. Share your time like seasons. Work, rest, visit, and return. Keep a ledger of kindness. Who might need soup? Who might need silence? Practice porch talk. Conversation that lets another finish their sentence. And when absence visits, give it a chair and a cup. Absence is also a guest who teaches us how to value return. Tonight's tale closes with a door gently latched. Demeter's lamp glows in the kitchen. Persephone's shawl hangs by the peg, ready for both journeys. Up and down, going and returning. The world breathes in measured lines. In episode 6, we will sit with Athena, her quiet courage, her lamp above the desk, and the small, enduring goodness of the olive. For now, breathe like a field at dusk, slow furrows, even air. May your rest be a winter that keeps, and your waking a spring that knows how to begin.